Back in action. Ting-a-ling-a-ling. School bell ring. Man, it just gets greater and greater. Boy. Fortunate, man. It's just a good thing to be fortunate enough to be of the force. The force. Of course, the force is strong in this one. You niggas gonna feel it. Welcome to the Starface extravaganza, ladies and gentlemen. Bring your top hats. Shout out to Shorty Low, man. I like that song. Yeah, we back in action though. Well, I wish I well, fuck all that. Man. I don't know where to begin, man. I guess oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about, man. Yeah, we back in the building. I brought the squad with me this time. The squad came out, man. Squad came out, you know. Friday, it was Friday. Now, in the last episode where I left y'all off at, I was talking about Aaliyah and DMX in the Back in One Piece song, right? Some other shit I didn't want to get into it too. Going to it with y'all with, but I guess I say that later. It's too much trying to cram everything into this. Trying to really go ahead and knock this out. I know I said I was gonna hit y'all every day, but it's a process with this shit, man. So y'all have to pardon me for saying that. I'll be trying though. But you know, I did the Back in One Piece thing, broke that down to y'all. And if you look at this shit, that's the dog face, that's Anubis. And that's the bone. Get a dog a bone. So I broke that down to y'all, and them niggas showed up. Which ain't a new thing, you know. They always with me. I always make contact. You know, Aaliyah, you know, she's a mysterious one, so she be in the cut. But I mean, it ain't nothing for me to get up with her or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She always around looking out. And X, you know, he just really made the transition. What that was, last year or something like that. But he came through too. Right after he passed, I'm gonna show you how he came through. First and foremost, that nigga is Anubis, and he kind of fucked up about not coming into the true knowledge of self before he left, and then having to look back at himself and and if you think, well, I'll just break it down. The nigga said, looking back, like damn, he always knew he was special, but that bullshit Christianity mentality kept him in a box to where he felt he was special. But he felt he was special within the realms of Christianity. That's why he was doing all that. Praise the Lord, you know, all that stuff that he acquired through his Christian background, all that shit that we all done been through. Or like I said, we all, whatever religious shit you do, unless you was born in the knowledge of self, which ain't a bad thing, but yeah, he was fucked up about that. You know what I'm saying? He like, man, I look like an idiot. I mean, you know, I didn't worry, but that's kind of how he was, the vibe he was giving off. But he came through after he had, I'm gonna show you how he came through. It was a little bit after he had passed, and I was sitting on the couch watching nothing, cause I don't watch. It was a football game on or some shit. I think I was fumbling through my phone or something, but it was like a college football game. And whatever game it was, well, I was thinking about DMX. I started thinking about him, and that's what brought it up. And then when I look at the TV, whatever team, you know, I'm not really into college sports like that, or sports really, period, especially college sports. You know, I dabble in a little bit. You know, I ain't biased to it, but you know, I'm not a sports fan like the average dude. But I'm sitting there thinking about this nigga, and whatever, I don't know what team y'all have, you got to get with your sports friends with this shit, but I forgot what team it was. But the team, one of the teams that was playing, they got a mascot named Boomer. So I'm sitting there thinking about X, and then when I look up at the TV, I see the mascot with Boomer on his shirt or some shit like that. Boomer, I think it was on his shirt or whatever, or it was the caption like Boomer the mascot or some old shit. It was something like that. But whatever it was, Boomer. I said, oh, so that's X. Cause you know X dog, he got the Boomer on his back. That was his road dog. You know, that was his dog. I think his dog had died. He got it written on his back, Boomer. So it came through then. You know what I'm saying? He kind of mixed it up a little bit, and that was the first time he came through or whatever. Now I think he had a few more spiritual encounters with him in between that. But this motherfucker, this time, him and Leah, look, just wait till I show y'all this shit. No, them niggas came through. I'm trying to see if I want to, I'll go ahead and tell y'all the story, and I'll show y'all the picture later. But, Friday, which was July 22nd, which is, I think, the same day him and Snoop had that versus battle, which is interesting. But Friday, I was looking at this picture right here, the diagram or diaphragm. I might be saying it wrong, but I don't know why. For some reason, I don't be wanting to just refer to this shit just as a picture. I be wanting to say diagram or diaphragm, or then diaphragm is diagram or some shit. I don't know what it is about that. I don't know. But anyway, and I realized it was off a little bit. I like the picture, but let me show you why I messed up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. One of these is off. Where is that? Yeah, see, you got that one with you got the arms coming from the bottom of that one, the arms coming from the bottom of that one, and then this one has arms coming from the top, going on the top and the bottom. And really, there's supposed to be 7. It's supposed to be 7 rings or whatever. But I had the 8 because I was looking at it like the moon. This would which still is right. Because when it's all said and done, this would be the shell of the moon. Well, no, not really. It'll be from, well, yeah, you kind of say that right there. But really, it's supposed to be the moon. No, it's the moon. The moon would be, the surface of the moon would be this right here, the top of this line right here. And this right here would just be, this would just be the space in between the star systems, the star Sirius, and the last bit of light they had to travel from here to there. Man, there's so much shit, man. This shit is, I'm telling you, man, this shit is amazing. And this book is just undisputable. So I can tell you all this shit I'm giving you, and you can say, you know, this shit coming from me, based off of, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say so many words, this shit came from my subconscious mind based off of the information that I've been reading all these years. But I had to get to it myself. It's not like I read a book somewhere that showed me step by step, oh, this is how it came. And this book show you, Ancient Egypt Light of the World, shows it to you. But if you not in a, if you don't if your mind isn't acclimated, or you not, because like I said, once I got the knowledge of self, about a year later, that was one of the things on my agenda was find, you know, because my thing is subconsciously my mind told me, or subconsciously, I think I felt subconsciously, once I came to the understanding that I was a god, I think subconsciously my mind said, well, you're a god, nigga, you need to find out how the fuck all this shit came into fruition. Because after I finally came to the realization of it, and was fully convinced, that's when I started going about trying to figure this shit out, you know. And this was, like I said, this was like 2008 or something like that. So you know, you just reading this book and you just read it, you can still get some juice, you'll get juice out of it. But when you read it and mix that reading with the desire to understand how all this shit came to be, then you will start to see that a lot of that shit that the Kamites left behind, what we left behind, was creation myths. It's a lot of shit that we be blowing out of proportion, or shit we be talking about, and really, like, for example, like your daughter brought thing, you know what I'm saying? I always say, or Zeus, you know what I'm saying? Niggas be like, oh, Zeus, the lightning bolt, and that's the enemy. And well, on one hand you can look at it like, because like I said, when you go to the Matrix, it is really a matter of perspective. I hold that. But all that shit was a part of the process of this shit coming together. So you but no, not to get too far, of course. But when you read this book and you apply it to trying to figure out how everything came to be, you'll start to see that this fucking book is a gold mine. This shit is some of the baddest shit on the planet. No bullshit. But anyway, back to X and Aaliyah. So I saw that and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go and draw another one. And another thing too, Neath, I was just reading too, a similar to Vulture, and it kind of threw me off because it said she's the white Vulture. Same thing, but it don't take nothing from what I said, because like I said with the Neath and the needle and all that, because even that, as above so below, so it's all this is a process of weavery, the seamstress, you know what I'm saying? But I just read somewhere it said Neath is the white verse, so that means she would be the moon. And then you'd have Neptys or Neptys down here, the dark sister. So, boy, this shit finna be fire, man. I'm telling you, I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. Look. But anyway, wait till we get into this shit here. So anyway, I say, you know what, I'm gonna draw another one. Cause I want to draw, I draw two more. Cause I wanted to draw a picture of when all this light receded and gathered up here and left this as the moon, or left this as frozen water, whatever, or as ice, a honey bond, the ice bond. All that shit is in here. That's why I said I heard a motherfucker the other. Hold on, let me stay the course. Hold on, I'm gonna get into that in a minute, cause I got some shit I need to get on my motherfucking chest. But I said I'm gonna draw one where show these niggas what the APAP dragon look like, or what brings about the APAP dragon. When all the light retreats from out of the circumference. And speaking of the circumference, let me hit y'all with this real quick. Before we get any more deeper, I want to show y'all this shit. This shit is real in the field. Now I'm gonna wait because I'll wait when I turn the camera. But when I get to the start dealing with the surface. But anyway, so I said I'm gonna draw another one. I'm gonna draw it. So boom, I draw the new one, and which I'm about to put up in a minute. And this shit is spectacular. I ain't gonna lie, man. I sat here and was just staring at this shit for like probably about 45 minutes, man. Gone. I mean, this bitch, the riddle of the Sphinx, cracked that code. I'm gonna show you the riddle of the Sphinx in a minute. But in the new one I drew, see this one, you know, it's just a line going up. But the new one I went ahead and drew I went ahead and drew the whirlwind that sucked everything up, the vacuum, the V. And when I did that, which I done that before, so I already knew, but this time, this shit, you know, I think this is probably one of the ones I focused on the most when I actually drew the picture, because this shit here, man, yeah, this one here, I done cracked the code to baseball and all that shit. Your girl, Flo Millie, say she want a picture with a baseball bat. I'm gonna deliver on that. Dig this. So I drew the shit, and when I drew it, you can see the double diadem clear. You can see the crown, the double crown worn by the Kemetic pharaohs and where they got it from. That, the fez, I'm gonna show you some other shit about that fez too. Man, this shit is out of control. Kid play, all kind of shit popping up, man. I'm telling you. But so I drew that, and and then I cut one side of the background greenish blue, and the other side like a blackish gold and black or whatever. And fuck it, I'm talking, I'll show y'all niggas right now. And when I be shading, now I'm finna show you something. The images you gonna see outside of the actual circumference in the center and the whirlwind and the lights and all that shit, the images you're gonna see in these next two pictures, these new pictures I'm putting up, I didn't draw them on purpose. What I did when I be shading, now I got a picture of Pimp C when he came through. Well, I did that with paint though. But I got a picture with him that I might show y'all where I did this shit. But this is why they scared of the arts. Now, when I drew this shit, and then I start shading, I didn't do this on purpose. What I do is I shade, you know, I color and shade, just, you know, and then instead of shading in one direction, I kind of went a little chaotic with it in certain places. And what I do is I sit back and see what I see, just based on the shading. You know, it's just like how I be rapping. You know, I started rapping freestyling, and then I went into writing, but I started freestyling. So and then I went into writing. That's how this shit here came up, cause I was just scribbling and scrabbling with the color, with the black, And then I start seeing, I think, I'm gonna go to hit y'all with the Batman first. See, this the call this the Murcielago night. You can really see him from right here. But Goldie the Mac, baby, Max Julian, piece to the Mac. You can see him. Now, you see the Batman right there. Well, let me get up. I'm gonna make sure you niggas see this shit. Now, I think the first thing I saw was like something that looked like little horns or something. And then I kept shading, and I started seeing it. And I started going along. I just started freestyling, going along with it. And next thing you know, this shit popped out. You dig? The Dog Night. I'm trying to explain to you the best way I can, because it ain't like I just sat there and woo and did this shit on purpose. I had no premeditated thoughts on that. I just was shading the dot. I'm gonna explain that later in the circle. But for the shape of you even got the goddamn bat symbol right there. Tell you this, you fucking with the best. So once I start seeing it take shape, I just started going along with it, and then I started getting into it and shaping it up a little bit. But it came to me spontaneously, best way I can put it. As spirit. So I'm gonna deal with this one first when we get into the thick of this. But now I drew a picture of like I said, when I drew that picture of the Dark Night of the Soul, I did the same thing, because in that one, and I'm gonna put it up when I get to that part of the thing, but I'm gonna explain the shit before I get to it. But in that one, I had like this, but I got it like another one right here, like another line right here, like it's like a fingernail, right on the edge to indicate the so it'd be like you looking at half the hemisphere, and you can see the little thin ice sickle going making the arc or whatever, the Bifrost bridge as they call it in the Norse thing. But yeah, and I got to doing the same thing I did up here, shading, and then just letting it take me while letting the shade take me following where it took me. And I fucked around and ended up with 2 dogs and an A. Well, the A was I did the A consciously. Some just told me, I wasn't thinking about a Leah or nothing at the time. I wasn't even thinking about it. Some just told me draw A right here. And then next thing you know, I had a dog. Like, it's a body too. And pocking the shit too. He in the motherfucker too. I forgot to bring it up too. He's pocking the Leah and X. Yeah, they came through, man. We was chopping it up and shit. But that's when I snapped. I say, I see the dog. I start seeing the dogs. And then the A. And it took me a minute to snap. I said, oh shit. These niggas that came through. And then, that's how they'll get your attention. Shit like that. And then we start chopping it up or whatever. So, but yeah, man, now, this is shooting. This the crown. or the whirlwind, but it's the crown sit on top of. Another thing too, I was telling y'all about the Sodom and Gomorrah, the Sodom, and I started breaking down. I forgot. I even seen this shit in here, but it ain't saw it in here. See it, but I forgot that. I forgot that's Ireland. The Sid here is Irish. It's Irish for heel. I'm gonna read that to y'all too, but you got the double diadem. Cause on the double crown, they got the one snake at the bottom and one snake at the top. This would be the one at the bottom. Then you had the other one coming out the top. So, and if you just look at it, you see the crown. You know how the Egyptians got the crown coming out the top, the crown, and when the snake coming out, the Uriah serpent. So when I drew this shit out, when I finally finished with it, I looked at it, I say, man, this shit is amazing. And because even with the Batman shit, you got the cape coming down like that. And then, and that's when I had the conversation with him about how he was fucked up about the whole Christianity thing. And he told me to tell y'all niggas, man, you niggas better get you some knowledge yourself. Because I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I keep shit to myself. He's like, nah, man, tell them niggas. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you know what I'm saying? And then that nigga came through one of my homegirls. Well, I don't know her personally, but she be doing videos and stuff. And she be doing blog talks and shit. Y'all probably heard it. I don't want to say people's names. I don't know. Random people name, celebrities and shit like, everybody already know y'all and shit, so whatever. But I don't be knowing the random people just want a nigga to be, she probably wouldn't mind, cause she be showing me little love and shit or whatever. But the last time I listened to one of her videos, she was the same person. She still not herself and all that shit, but her delivery was delivery had changed. It was right after X died. Her delivery was changed, nigga. She was talking that shit hot. Fuck these crowds. But the way she was saying it, she was like, these motherfuckers gonna make me. She was on some X shit. Like, I'm listening to her, and I'm like, damn. The more and more I listen to her, I'm talking about, I ain't doing it no justice the way she was doing it. She was really, I'm listening to her, and she going out. And I'm like, damn, this motherfucker sound like a female DMX or something. But man, the time be going about fast. But yeah, man, we gonna get to that. The DMX, I'll be show y'all. But so this is the whirlwind though. I got the little and then you got an eye right here. I didn't even try that shit. I didn't, like I said, that's another thing I didn't. I just drew the whirlwind, and I drew the spirals going down each side. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to draw like how you can draw the top of the cylinder or whatever. I was trying to do that. I did it right here first, but that was it was too high. I fucked up. I thought at least not, but that shit was all spirit. And then I said, nah, it's a little lower than that. But so really, once I stopped. But it really would be like a circle right here with this tilt. If this was tilted forward, you'd be able to see the top from our view or whatever. But even that was spiritual. Because that's we gonna get into that in a minute. But that I and that the 9, the number 9, which is the 9th letter is I. That number been coming up all weekend. I. Even you look at my Instagram page when I'm telling the story about the St. Ives poster and all that shit. So let me get into the business, man, cause the time ticking. But yeah, so you see the whirlwind, the double diadem, the crown. But this is the double diadem, the double two snakes. But that's what the two snakes on the crown represent. One for the one that goes up and the one that goes down. But the upper Kemet and lower Kemet. But then you got the baseball. With you got the bat with the baseball. And I'm finna show you where that shit come from. So, but I'll give y'all, that's just a sneak preview. Cause I still got some other shit I need to deal with before we go into that. But I just want to show y'all, like I said, that wasn't, I drew the circle and with the dot for Sirius. But the way the whole thing came about, for the Batman, that wasn't planned. I just went along. I was shading and shading and shading and just shading and just shading, and then I started seeing it. I said, "Oh," I started going along. I said, "Oh shit, that's Batman. Oh, that's me." Whole story behind that shit. I'm telling you, it's popping. So, yeah. But we're gonna get back to the process. Damn, this man gonna be having enough time on this fucking camera. Okay. So, well, I wanna I'm gonna get back into some of that Richard King, but I'm gonna take y'all back to ancient Egypt, like the world. We're gonna go to Ireland, the Irish are mental. Now, the other day when I was walking from I'm walking down the street from I was coming from transferring my shit from my camera to my phone. I be having to go to use Wi-Fi and shit at Starbucks and all that shit. And I passed up a Lowe's and I seen a sign that said sod. You know, when I looked under looked under, it was a tent with sod on it. And when I looked down, you know, I started seeing it, the sod, motherfuckers that I already bought all of it, but it was just little, it was still traces of grass and dirt out on the ground and shit. So I say sod. So I was just talking about that shit in the video. And it goes back up to what I was telling y'all. Sod. Sod is the first words that was uttered, or the universal vibration that kicked everything off. That's the which causes the whirlwind from the light that was at the bottom spinning, or the active energy that was at the bottom spinning, and in the beginning. So I seen that sword, I say, oh, there you go. Tell you, man, the world bears witness to this shit I'm on. You know, so I don't care. I don't really be caring what people say no more, man. Because in every fucking blink of an eye, it's something reminding me of who I am. So, you know, people that don't get it, they just don't get it. I don't force them to try to get it, you know. I hit a nigga with a sprinkle or some shit. You either catch on, or you show interest or not. But if you're around me, you're going to pick up on something regardless. You might not come to the full fruition of the understanding, but you're going to see the goddamn magic to one degree or another. But I say saw, I say, okay, well, I say whatever it is, it's dealing with the goddamn grass and the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me take my motherfucking ass to Google and Google sod. So this is what I came up with. Well, when I went to the sod, I already had a knew just from looking at it. Well, it had a knew it had to do something with the with gardening or the ground or whatever. But so this is what it says: sod, the surface of the ground with the grass growing on it. Okay. So when you're dealing with the sod I told you this is the goo ma ra, the mother's goo with the little light flakes of raw. And this shit is just, this is one of the best ones I done did. That shit looks pristine to me. To me, at least. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best artist in the world, but this shit, you know what I'm saying? That's your boy. with the afro, Mac Attack, Mr. Gold Buttons. You know what I'm saying? You did. So I said, oh yeah, I said, see, there you go. I said, that's what the sod is. The sod is the surface that all this shit created, the light created and came up from on top of the dark waters of noon, the great mother or whatever. So because when it's all said and done, this is where the surface is gonna be where the grass and all that shit come from. But the sod is the O. So the sod, when they say grass, when it's talking about the grass and shit, it's talking about all this out here. You know what I'm saying? That's the land. That would be this is the mound, the hill. All that would, the sod would be like the top surface of the ground and shit I can just explain. But in Ireland, it's called the Seed Hill. Seed, go back to what I was just telling you. The R, the sod, it's the S-O, the serpent, in the serpent, S's, the O's, or the O's that would be on the top, and the D, or the D. You know what I'm saying? The sods. The seed is the serpent, the I, the middle, and the D's, or the D's. The Seed Hill, Sydney and Shireen on House Party. Now really Sydney and Shireen was Isis and Neptune. See, it's science and House Party. Even what happens when the process finally come to a completion and the earth blasts off the top of the sun, the top of the moon blasts off of the earth. What happens in the beginning of the House Party? The first thing they show them niggas in there partying until the roof come out that the roof. You know what I'm saying? The roof come up off that motherfucker. So Sydney and Shireen, the Sydney, the Sid, knee. These are the knees. You know what I'm saying? The Sydney. That's where that name come from. The Sydney. Shireen. What's the Shireen? The Shireen is the rain. Shireen. Now, Isis and Neptunes, the real Isis and Neptunes would be, not to take them from A.J. Johnson, who is Shireen, the dark skinned young well, she's old, I can say young lady, but the dark skinned one. But it is, and see, that's how the spirit realm be working. Cause Sydney is really would be the dark, where the hill is at, and the Shireen would be the light skinned sister, or the white moon. You know what I'm saying? Where the rain comes from, when the sun comes back down through it with the snow and all that. So Sydney and Shireen. But let me hit you with the let me hit y'all with the scholarship real quick. Okay. In the opening of Ritual 187, the hero enters the vessel of the Kamite Charon, char, black, on, light. The char and the on is the light. The char, when you char something, you blacken it, charcoal. The light, being the dark, the black, char, and the on, the light. When you cut what you do when you want to get light in your room, you cut the light on. So in the opening of the Ritual 187, the hero enters the vessel of the Kamite Charon and addresses the helmsmen and sailors. He is in search of his father Osiris, who has been murdered by Sut, and says, I am the beloved son. I have come to see my father, Osiris, to pierce the heart of Sut and to slay the conspirators. Horus being like Maldwin, which is Maldwin is the Irish Horus. The avenger, Maldwin, the avenger of his father. Amenta is the land of life. The sun sets into the land of life. It is the land of the tree of life and the water of life, in which the dead become the living, resting in the land of life. The mountain in the west is called Mount Anku, the mountain of life. All you niggas on that flat earth shit, yeah, it's flat. The center that we on is flat, but it's a sphere. I got the goddamn scholarship right here, and it's obvious too if you been watching me break this shit down. So we can put that, I don't know what type of books niggas talking about they read and 100 pages. Man, them niggas is bozos. Well, I won't just say that 'cause I ain't never read the book, but them niggas, I don't know how they got so much information on some shit that, unless they was talking about the flat holographic universe or some shit, but I got the scholarship right here, as well as I did the great work. So when I did that, how I downloaded a lot of this information anyway. So but anyway, it is the land of the tree of life and the water of life, in which the dead become the living, resting in the land of life. The mountain of the west is called Mount Anku, the Mount of Life. One name of the mount, otherwise the horizon, in the Egyptian is Sut or Set, Su or Su, the rock, hill or mountain, which agrees with the Irish Seed for the hill lock and the mound of the unseen world. The mounds were made as dwellings for the dead, and in the Irish legends, the people of the earth, the Twata the Danan, the double thigh of the Danan, the wee folk and fairies are dwellers in a world that is represented by the hill lock or mound. Tis a large seed which the ICC dwell, the A side dwell. Therefore, equivalent to the mount and the hollow in the mount is one of the Kamite Amenta. There is no conscience of time in this happy other world. Those who have dwelt there for centuries seem to have been there in no time. This is one way of identifying the land with the earth of eternity. The Irish neither world is the land of the ever-living ones, and in a resistible lure of men, it is set forth as the land of the ever-living and ever-lovely women. Okay, so now we're dealing with the fairies. Now, when you're dealing with the little people, the gnomes and the fairies and all that, one of the things that the fairies within themselves represent is an inner knowing. Fairies are real. You know, we've been brought up to think all this shit was make-believe. No, fairies are real. You know what I'm saying? But they dwell in the inner earth. You can bring them out too or whatever. But you know, they so little and subtle. But one of the things that they refer to or symbolize is the soul. Because the soul, when you see fairies, the soul, the smallest of the fairy resembles the smallest of the soul. When you read ancient, when you read Sirius Mystery, it's a part in there where he say, it talks about the superhuman power of becoming small, or how do they put it? It's called the animatiate or something like that. And so when you're dealing with the fairies, you're dealing with Ptah. Now, let me take y'all here. Africa, home of the pygmies, is presumably the birthplace of the dwarf races now represented by diminutive wee folk of the dark continent. That's what they used to call them, you know, the wee folk. What's another name? What's the wee folk and the wee folk. But and I even came up with some shit a couple years ago, called Wee Street Squad. You know, when I was getting into this shit, you know, just a little shit in my mind. I ain't got no goddamn squad shit. I came with two niggas as the rest, two partners that I got that I fuck with for the most part right now. But you know, just some fuck around. But even with that, Wee Street, W-E-S-T, Wee S Street, the abbreviation street is S-T. So I, you know, but anyway, all right. But there's another factor to be taken into account before we can ascertain the origin of the wee folk as spirits in a tiny fairy shape. These do not simply represent the pygmy race of human beings, because that's one of the things they represent too. The the African pygmies, the little when we was, well, they still exist and shit too. You know, the little people, the gnomes. They it's cartoons come on called David the Gnome. The gnomes live in the tree or whatever. Elves and all that shit. Keebler elves, all that shit. Keebler, Kabbalah, all that shit go together. I wish I had more time. I do want to go places with this shit, but when we first, so you got niggas that be talking about we used to be the giants and the giant, like talking like when we were giants, we was the best, cause we trained to believe that bigger is better all the time. But that's not necessarily the case. So the pygmies, and that's really a derogatory name. A better term to put it would be the Twa people. The Twa. Twada, like I just said, the Twada Donning, you know what I'm saying? The Twat. The Twat, that's what the word Twat. When you say Twat, the Twat, the double I. The A, or you can say the A and the A and the T. The two I. The two ATs. The two I. You know what I'm saying? The womb. The pussy. So the god Ptah, who opened the underworld by tunneling the mount of Amenta, is himself a dwarf. Which goes back to how much time we got? Okay, we got a little time to be jiggy. Ptah. Do you know Ptah? See the gold? Okay. The gold flex. That would be fairies. But these right here are the veins. Remember I told you Ptah, when the goo was coming down here into the flank or coming down here into forming the cup or the U or the W, the west, you had the spirit tunneling holes and tunnels all throughout here. These would probably be your springs. And when I get to the end of this, you're going to see how it all come together. But these would be like your springs. So you have them cutting, you know, this the net. So you see how it's going like that. Then you have spirit cutting this way, 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 cutting up, you know what I'm saying? Of course it's gonna have to cut up to the top, because when it's all said and done, water gonna bust out from the bowels of the earth. And that's what they provide us with, the oceans and all of that. Because before the spirit goes through the coming forth by day ceremony, you're gonna have all this water, the water that was pushed from out of the melanin. Not only is it gonna come to the surface, but it's gonna fall into those tunnels that are dug down here and create our irrigation system, our natural irrigation systems or whatever. But when all the light leaves from out of the top, everything gonna freeze up. So everything down here gonna be frozen until the sun tunnels through the underworld. Hora, the Harmaku. So yeah. So when you're dealing with the Sydney, the Sid heel. Remember I told you that's the eye. The sword would be the circumference, dealing with the surface of the circumference. The Sid would be dealing with the center, coming from it'd be dealing with the mound that sits in the center of the circumference, the eye, the eye or the Sid. So So you would have each one of these would be like a form of patar, and then you had a little light sprinkled from the light that was picked up by the melanin when it came in contact with the light that was going up, spread it all throughout there. You know what I'm saying? This is new sweat. And I want to read that shit one more time too. Man, this shit, that's just like that the last video when I put it on my Instagram. I plugged that salt and pepper push it. And it's been a minute since I heard it, so you know I done it. Man, I purposely done it because it came to mind, because you know the pushing that's going on down here with the melanin and shit like that, and then salt and pepper, the black pepper and the salt coming from the reaction between the melanin and the concentrated light in the center. But then when I and then you got the part where you're like cooling by day, but at night working up a sweat. You know what I'm saying? All that shit went together. Now all that I was conscious of, but the part where she say get on the floor and show these guys we number one of the hot pot show. Number one, the pot, the brewing vat, the cauldron. I don't know if, I don't even, you know, not to take that from salt pepper, but I don't even think they was talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? But this shit just all came together, which goes to show y'all niggas that this hip hop shit, that's one of the reasons why I like to incorporate certain songs with this process, because it makes it it takes from being just about me to show you how all this shit is with, you know, how you can, and like I say, I don't know what salt pepper knows. Don't quote me. I don't know what they spiritual thing is, whatever. But you know, it's an example of how we be living this shit and saying it, and it pours out of us, whether we conscious of it or not, through a lot of the shit that we do. Even a lot of shit I do, I have to go back and be like, damn, that's why that was. I be reading some shit and it remind me of something I did. I be like, oh, that's what that was. So, you know, that's why I like to incorporate that music, you know, with this. You know what I'm saying? Cause when like I said, I knew about. I remember the first part of it where it was like cooling by day and at night working up a sweat. I was conscious of that, but the hot pot show part, I wasn't conscious of that part. You know, I heard the song a whole. You know, I born in the 80s, so I grew up on all that shit. I was young when it came out though, so even when it first was fresh and new, I was you know, I heard it like everybody else, but relatively speaking, I wasn't, you know, I'm 8 or 9 and some shit like that, 7 or some shit. So at that point in time, it was all about movies, cartoons, toys, and video games. And music was music is universal, so there ain't no escaping music. But I wasn't into music the way I'm into it now. I was into it. You're always gonna, but music pretty much came through to me when I got in the car with my goddamn old man, and we ride and where we ride to or whatever. And I grew up mostly with my old man, but with my mama, cause my old man, you know, that's pretty much how it is for him. He don't listen to music and shit like in the house, or he listen to music in the radio, in the car and all that shit. But as far as like us, which I'm trying to not become like that nigga, cause nigga got a YouTube with a plethora of fucking music a nigga be listening to, and I don't even be, you know, I go to certain parts and shit, certain songs or whatever every now and then, but I don't even be just listening to music I used to, but I got to get back into it because I don't like that. But my old man, he don't, you know, it ain't like he's anti-music. He just don't. His thing is TV. That nigga sitting in front of that TV, and you had to call his name by. And I understand why now. Looking at this wild, all these old TV shows, and I'm seeing the science in this shit now. And it snapped to me today. I said, man, that's why my old man used to sit in front of this goddamn TV and be just in a trance, because he don't know. He's a regular Christian cat or whatever. But a lot of this shit, old shows, I'm starting to realize that old shows had a lot of science in them. Now, I'm gonna put y'all on some of that Wild Wild West shit too in probably the next video, because this is winding down, man. I'm really long-winded the motherfucker, man. So now with my mom on the other end, she's more of a musical person. So with her, when I like, cause it, you know, at one point in time, up until I was like 10 or something like that. Well, most of the time I stayed with my old man, but there was a point in time where about 2 or 3 years ago, they did the back and forth thing where I spent 1 year with him and 1 year with her, and then when I turned 10, it was just me and that was the last time I just stayed with my mama for you know, a full year or whatever. You know, that she had moved to San Antonio and all that. But so when Salt Pepper came out with that, you know, by the time I finally got the music to where I was actually paying that close attention to the lyrics and getting into it and shit, the song's already old, so it's always gonna be a classic. And you know, when it come on, but when it come to the part where she say the Hot Pot Show, you know, by so many years passed and I ain't heard it in so long, and woo woo, you know, I don't know about heart. So that part was the part where the spirit jumped out and was like, you know, I could tell. I could tell that was a good pick for that video, because I didn't know that part about the Hot Pot. So shout out to Salt and Pepper, man. You know, I like to involve people I deem good musicians and shit in this thing right here. But just like with the Flo Milli shit, cause I heard that shit, the Conceited song, which I don't condone conceit, but I like the song though. Y'all ain't gonna be all uptight about it. She shouldn't be conceited. You know, I understand this rap. We all like to embellish when we write and rhymes and shit, whatever. But you know, cause she said that shit, and then when I looked at it, when I finished drawing it, that's what it looked like. And I thought about what she said. I was like, damn, this shit is crazy. So that spirit is just, man, it's on fire. It's popping right now. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I don't know what you fools into, but to the rest of the quote conscious community, whatever, I'm trying to figure out, am I the only, this going down right now. It's popping. You know, but let me go ahead and close this shit out, man. This shit went by fast as fuck, man. But nonetheless, I'll be back. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more consistent, man.